Hi, and welcome to the Jenspiration Conversation. My name is Jennifer, and if this is the first time one of my videos has landed in your feed, I very much welcome you to this space. It means that the universe's algorithm, which is my favorite algorithm, has put this video in your feed for a reason. It means that there's something here for you, whether it's just a little nugget of information or the entire video. So I welcome you to hang out and spend some time and see what you might find to be useful. To returning viewers and subscribers, you have my deepest gratitude and appreciation for coming back to, again, spend some time, hang out, and have a Jenspiration conversation with me. I created this channel to bring spiritual practices, spiritual pieces of information to a collective, but I really try to ground them in reality and practicality so that they're easy to understand. So today's video, I want to speak to you with regards to a term, a spiritual term called Dark Night of the Soul. And it's timely because at the moment of filming, today is April 20th. I'm not sure when I will put the video up, but today we're starting Taurus season has begun, and we're kind of grounding ourselves into that stable, secure, steady, grounded energy of Taurus. And over the past few weeks, I have been going through every emotion imaginable, and I couldn't understand why. I was all over the place emotionally, and I am not that type of person. I'm a Scorpio. We're pretty stoic most of the time. I mean, I live alone. I live with my dog, but I spend a tremendous amount of time alone. And for most of April, I have been crying and sobbing and screaming and shaking and in the fetal position on my bed, rocking, crying, and just yelling out to the ether, what is happening? Why am I crying? Why are you doing this to me? What is going on? Like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I so emotional? Why am I crying at the drop? I couldn't have a conversation with someone without crying. And it was someone who wasn't making me cry. Like, I couldn't understand what was happening. So I grabbed this Oracle deck. It's called Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle. The author's name is Kelly T. Smith. I use this in my online spiritual coaching business. I use this. It's great. I brought out the stack of cards here. So I shuffled it, and the first card that fell out almost immediately was I just want to save my place there, was the Dark Night of the Soul card. Because I asked my spirit guides, I said, you need to tell me what's going on. I asked Source, I was meditating, I was just in the thick of it, trying to understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling, why I was crying so much, and crying about things that happened years ago, or remembering a conversation I had with someone maybe 2 decades ago, but like very vividly remembering how I felt in that moment. Or, man, I even, like in this process, I even thought of a guy who ghosted me. When I was making supper, I put the fork down and I just started to cry because I was like, why did he ghost me? And this was like 10 years ago. I'm like, why am I bringing this up? What is going on? So when I sat down with the deck, this is the first card that came out. Like, I just shuffled and it just flew out of the deck. Dark Night of the Soul. So my spirit team came through loud and clear to tell me that I have been and still am experiencing a dark night of the soul. And when I started my spiritual journey a little over 4 years ago, I had read about a dark night of the soul, and I thought I had been through one already, but clearly this was the biggest, most profound piece of the spiritual journey called Dark Night of the Soul. This is the biggest piece. This is the biggest chunk. This is the biggest shedding. So spiritually speaking, we go through a dark night of the soul near the end because you are scraping through the very last remnants of your ego. And this actually correlates quite well because I just did a video on what your ego self is in spirituality. So if you feel called, you can scroll down and find that there. But very quickly, your ego self are the old stories and limiting beliefs and things that you thought were true about yourself, which simply weren't. It was just conditioning over time that made you feel a certain way or made you believe a certain thing, that you weren't capable, that you weren't good enough, that you weren't lovable enough, that you weren't pretty enough, smart enough, fast enough, intelligent enough, well-spoken enough, all the things that you might tell yourself. And through my spiritual journey, I have been shedding those pieces of me, and I have been coming home to myself, which is what the journey is. It's coming back to your soul and coming home to yourself and realizing that all of those things that you thought were true simply aren't. Canadian, are not true. So I want to read to you just quickly Kelly's definition of Dark Night of the Soul is really great. It's very small. I know when people read on these channels, you get bored, but please just listen. It's not boring. And then I'm going to wrap it up and just kind of tell you in real time what some of my symptoms of a Dark Night of the Soul are. So just bear with me. I promise it's not that long. So the author's definition of a dark night of the soul. The dark night of... Okay, so that's spirit coming through. Wow. I hope the camera picked that up. So it's windy here today, and that was my shovel falling over, but that was also spirit. Spirit is definitely here. The dark night of the soul is a term used to describe a period of confusion, loneliness, and isolation. This sounds dark and it feels dark, but the truth is, this period of your soul's development is about spiritual transformation. Your ego and your higher consciousness are at war, and the battle is a grueling one. The struggle takes place in uncomfortable territory, a middle ground where you cannot go back to the old ways of being, and you're not ready to fully progress into the new ways of being either. It may even feel as if you are permanently stuck. Your pain is very present, and no matter what you do, you cannot seem to break free of this mental and emotional prison. This card has arrived today to assure you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Not only will you make it through this dark night, but you will come out of it completely transformed. You will know, without a shadow of a doubt, who you really are. Your ego is going to step aside and let the real you come forward. And when it does, you will be fully awakened to your true self. Shout out to Kelly T. Smith. That is the most beautiful definition of what is happening to me. And that's why I felt called to make this video today, because if this is happening to you, this is what it is. The first line got me. It is described as a period of confusion, loneliness, and isolation. Ding, ding, ding. That is exactly what I'm going through. I have felt deep levels of loneliness this entire month. Deep isolation. Now, I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios we go inward a lot because we go to the shadows. Like we, hang out in the darkness. But Scorpio rules transformation. So I've been through enough transformation to know when a transformation period is, but this period has been so isolating. And it's interesting that I created this channel right before my dark night of the soul, because I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, this channel wouldn't have gotten off the ground until I was through this, because I have been sitting in this confusing place of what the actual F is happening. Why am I so lonely? Why are these two things battling each other? And she says here, it's because your ego and your higher consciousness are at war. And it's true. Your ego does not want you to wake up. Your ego wants to keep you stuck. Those stories and those beliefs that you tell yourself want to keep you stuck, because that's how your ego self controls you. That's how it's able to manipulate you and keep you away from the light, keep you away from your higher consciousness, keep you away from your connection to source energy, whatever you believe in. So this dark night of the soul, I think the wording is even perfect. It's a dark night, which is just not one night, of your soul. Your soul is literally shedding. Your ego is shedding. You are letting it go completely so you can fully come forward and step into the light as your most authentic self. You will come out of this completely transformed. So the reason I wanted to do this video now was, A, I'm experiencing it now. B, I know I'm not alone, because there is a collective of souls who are going through awakenings. And spiritual awakenings isn't just one big awakening. You will spiritually awaken and transform over and over and over again until you get to your dark night of the soul. When you reach your dark night of the soul, you are going to feel like you are completely out of control. And to Kelly's point, she says it's because you can't go back to who you were. I can't go back to the Jennifer even from 2 or 3 months ago, because as I'm working through this dark night of the soul, I know I can't go back there. I know I can't go back to the way I used to speak to myself, and the way I used to think about myself, and the way I used to talk to myself in my loneliness. And I don't want to sit in that anymore. I am ready. And I have been walking around thinking, why hasn't my 3D reality caught up to how I actually feel about myself? Circumstances in my 3D environment haven't stepped up yet. The situation I find myself in with work and friendships and family and housing and all of these things, they're still the same, but I feel monumentous change and shift within me. And that's where the frustrating part for me was, sitting in that loneliness going, why the hell isn't anything moving? And Kelly even says, you might feel perpetually stuck. Well, that's exactly how I've been feeling. Stuck in the effing muck. So I know I'm not alone. I'm speaking to you if you feel this exact same way. If you have done your healing and your growth and your shadow work, and you've cried and you've spent countless hours by yourself, and you've been through your hermit stage, and you've done your reading and research, and you've forgiven people, and you've loved on yourself, and you've journaled with yourself, and you've come home to yourself, and you're just like, well, what else is there? And that's what I've been saying. I'm like, universe, what else do you want from me? I have literally done everything to make myself better, to journey home to myself. I am sick and tired of this isolation phase that you have me in. I feel stuck, and it's infuriating, and it's emotional, and it's hard. It's really hard. And if you are feeling this, just know that we are going through a dark night of the soul, okay? You're at the end. You're at the end of your transformation. And I don't know how long it's going to last. I have no idea. Clearly, I'm still in it because I'm emotional just talking about it. But I'm just going to ride it. I've written everything else. I've gone to the depths of trying to forgive people and working through my shadows and working through forgiving myself for the decisions that I made and the situations I found myself in. So in my mind, I'm like, there's nothing else to do. Well, it goes with the saying, the only way forward is through. So I just have to go through it. So my friends, if any of you are feeling this way, it's a dark night of the soul. Just know it's essential to our transformation. It's the last phase of your journey before your higher consciousness and your new timeline and your new reality kicks in. Typically, when you journey through any type of spiritual awakening and coming home to yourself, we're usually faster than Earth. We're usually faster than this third dimension that we're living in. So we have to wait sometimes for it to catch up. And the waiting is part of the lesson. The waiting is, actually, they don't really want you to wait. They don't want you to sit around and wait for things to change. They just want you to exist and be in the flow of your life and live in this new consciousness that you're in. Live in this new feeling. Live in this new vibration. Live in this new frequency. And the universe will organize everything else to catch up and meet you. So it's not waiting. I need to rephrase my brain around that. I'm not waiting. I'm vibrating at a higher frequency, and I just have to let the universe organize itself to catch up to my new frequency. So that's the video for today. That is the dark night of the soul. It's messy and it's sticky and it's icky and it's uncomfortable and it's necessary. It's necessary because it's strengthening my connection to source. It's strengthening my connection to my authentic self. It's bringing me home to who I am. And it's allowing, as Kelly said, my ego to step aside so that I can fully walk and step forward with this newfound frequency, with who I truly, truly am. So if you are experiencing any of this, I want you to know that I'm here for you. This collective that I'm building is here for you. If you want to share in the comments anything that you're going through, I will happily support you, because most of us who go through this journey, who choose a spiritual path, who choose to awaken at whatever time, whatever age you are, we end up doing it alone. And it's hard. And if you don't find a spiritual teacher, or if you choose to do it alone like I did, shit guys, it's messy, because you've no one to bounce it off of. You have no one to talk to. You're just walking around thinking you're losing your mind, because I talk out loud and I'm trying to talk to myself, and I buy books and I research and I watch videos, and I've just tried to move myself through the muck. And that's where this channel came from. I want to be here in case any of you are trying to get through the muck. It's not going to be forever. This dark night of the soul is not forever. It's just right now. Okay? And we're going to get through it. We are going to get through the other side. You got through everything else. You got through your shadow work, or you're going through it. You got through your healing. We're going to get through this too. So I hope this video finds you well and taking care of yourself. And if you need a little extra rest, which I have found, emotional purging is exhausting. Exhausting. I took a 4-hour nap the other day. Usually my naps are like 20 minutes. No. The dog and I passed out for 4 hours because I had just cried for a good 45 minutes. And I had all these things I wanted to do, and no, I just put my pajamas on, I crawled in bed, the dog jumped up in bed with me, and we slept for 4 hours. And she's amazing, because it's like she knows. She knows. She's like, my mom needs a nap right now. So if you need extra rest, please take it. Please don't not allow yourself time to rest. It's really important that you rest, because we're going through a lot. Be kind to yourself, okay? I wish you well. And I very much look forward to seeing you on another video. Thank you for having this Jenspiration conversation with me. Until next time, bye-bye.